Well, here we are in the Royal United Services Institute in Regina, because that's part of the road trip today. And I'm very fortunate to have with me the one of the regimental majors from the Saskatchewan Dragoons, Jocelyn Hutchinson. Welcome to Moose Jaw This Week.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Jocelyn, tell me about, first of all, a regimental major. What is that?
Well, it's a volunteer position that we have with the Saskatchewan Dragoons, and of course, Lyle, you're my counterpart in that. And what we do is we volunteer our time to, I guess, do a building bridge between the community and the regiment. So we volunteer our time to do functions. We sort of build an awareness in the community. So that's our role. Yeah.
And when you talked about building a connection in the community, of course, you have taken on a pretty big responsibility in the upcoming 100th anniversary of the D.V. Curry VC Armoury in Moose Jaw.
Yes, I have. I let my name stand as chair and sort of as overseer. There are a lot of people who volunteer many, many hours, including you, Lyle, to this event. But basically, just sort of as an overseer, making sure that many of the things that we have a lot of moving parts in this whole 2 weekends. It spans 2 weekends. So we have a lot of moving parts, and so I'm supposed to be the juggler that sort of makes sure that everything happens. So
let's talk about the three parts that you mentioned. Now, first of all, there's a weekend of the 3rd and 4th of May of open houses. Let's talk, and we've already talked a bit about that, but just recap on that.
Well, the 3rd is a school day, is what we're calling it, and that's where we're inviting grade 11 students from Moose Jaw, and I think all of them are participating, where they're going to be coming to the Armoury in the morning from 9 till 12, and they'll be given tours as part of a curriculum. Grade 11, they actually take First World War as a subject, and so this is going to help them to not only gain a different perspective on it, but to be shown pictures, memorabilia that we have at the Armoury. We have an extensive historical collection there, and so we'll be doing that, and of course you're the chair of that.
I am, and on the 4th we have opened it up at from 1 till 4 for the general public to come up and have a look at all these wonderful things. I mean, the history of Victoria Cross winners from Moose Jaw, also the history of that 100 years in that building. There's a lot of things happening there.
Well, yes, there is, and one of the items that I keep on pointing out to people that I speak to, that I know that the regiment is very, very proud to have, is of course the Vimy Ridge crosses that the 46th Battalion actually put together after the battle. So these are very historic. I'm very, very, the first time I saw them, I was truly amazed at them. And so, of course, if the public would like to come out and see that, not only that, there's the vehicle display that's in the front. Now, that was all refurbished and sort of given a facelift last year. And so we're very proud of that as well. A lot of time and commitment has been put forward, not only for that, but the inside historical collection as well.
Let's talk about May the 11th, because that's where you really kick into gear.
Yes.
There's 2 parts to it. First of all is the Freedom of the City Parade.
Yes, and the Freedom of the City Parade, people can line up on the streets and actually watch the soldiers. It starts at 1:40 is when the soldiers will actually leave the Armoury, and they will march down to City Hall, where they'll be greeted, well, sort of, by the mayor.
The chief constable.
Yes, and the chief constable. This goes back to when the keys were presented to a regiment as part of a ceremony so that they could actually enter the city. And so, of course, what the regiment will do is they'll come and knock on the door of City Hall, and the mayor will kind of stick her head out and, you know, sort of inquire what they are asking for. And, of course, the regiment will ask for the keys to the city so that they can actually gain access to it. So this goes back from millennium, this ceremony, and it's wonderful to see. And, of course, the Saskatchewan Dragoons will exercise their right, because of course they've been granted the keys to the city before, and it's a wonderful ceremony.
Yeah, and then once they come down, and it shows a trust from the community with the military, and they'll unsheathe their bayonets and
Yes.
they'll and the trumpets blaring, bayonets glistening, and banners flying as the way the proclamation goes. And then at 2 o'clock they march back up Main Street.
Yes, they do. And then following that, we do have the Black Tie Gala dinner that we'll be putting on. And the Saskatchewan Dragoons has a proud history and traces its beginnings, of course, prior to the First World War. We're just going to mention that. The building itself was used for many, many different purposes. I'm sure that there's listeners out there that know that the armory was used as a hospital, and then it was also used as a building that was used to house and help after the plane crash. I think that was 1954 or something.
It was just only 3 blocks or 4 blocks east of where the Armories is.
Yes, so of course it was instrumental, used for a lot of different purposes throughout. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn the Armory into a beautiful venue to have a black tie dinner to celebrate the 100th anniversary, Her Honor, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, Von Solomon Schofield, is the patron of the gala. So she will be attending, and it's a formal event. The dress is mess kit, or if you're police, mess kit. And then tuxedo, black suit for men, and of course long gown or cocktail dresses for ladies. So you can see how important we're viewing this.
You get a chance to dress up?
Yes, you do, in all your finery. And of course, Lyle knows that many of the different functions that we have at the mess, many of us ladies like to take extra special care with.
And they do a good job of that.
Well, thank you.
And now, of course, people can, this is not restricted to just members of the military community. Other people can purchase tickets. And how would they go about doing that?
Well, I'm just going to sort of elaborate on that because we talked about it, and that was one of the main focuses of why you and I have got involved with this event, is because we wanted the public to experience a military dinner. And so what we're doing is we're trying to keep the tradition of the military dinner alive that evening. We do have the Winnipeg Rifle Band that will be there, which is very special for us. And so they're going to be supplying the music. And then the serving members in the military, one part of a regimental dinner is actually doing the marches. And I know that my first experience when I saw that, that's a neat thing to see. So what it is that along with Her Honor, there's going to be other members of government there. There's going to be, Ray Bowen. We have some senators that have confirmed their attendance, and of course the mayor is going to be there as well, and then other military dignitaries that we know and stuff that are going to help celebrate for us. The reception will start at 6 o'clock, and we're asking people to be there by 10 after because Her Honor will be arriving at 6:15.
And there's a greeting line that people go through.
Yes, there is, as military dictates. And then the dinner will be at 7 o'clock. So what we're doing for the evening, it's tickets are $85 a piece, and you can actually purchase them at the Armory. You can contact me, and I'm going to give the website here. It's moosejaw-armory-100years.ca, and you can actually, the information is there on the website, where to send the checks and who to make them out to. And then also what we're providing corporate people is a chance to be a sponsor that evening, buy corporate tables, be a part of it all. And we have different levels of sponsorship, and it's available, all the information is available on the website.
Well, that's a big spectacle, and something that I know people in Moose Jaw enjoy the chance every now and then to be part of a gala. And I think your idea of when you came up with this idea and we're going like, really? You go, oh yes. And so you've been pushing really hard. You've got a great committee to work with. Former Commanding Officer Brad Racina, and current commanding officer Chris Hunter
Yes.
is involved. Who else are some of these? Like Lynn.
Well, Lynn Hamilton is with H.J. Lennon, and we have a group of people that we have formed, and they're called the Friends of the Regiment. And a lot of people, in business people from the community in Moose Jaw and Regina have become friends. And I think the membership might be up to close to 15 right now. Yeah. Now, many of them have stepped forward, including Lynn Hamilton. Julene Summerfield is a friend of the regiment. Harvey Lennon. We also have yourself, myself, Brad, Chris, and there's serving members of the Saskatchewan Dragoons have all played a part in trying to make this whole 2 weekends a memorable event for Moose Jaw and the surrounding.
It only comes every 100 years too, so
yeah.
You know, so if people would like to do that. But again, let's just go over the 3 events. First of all, on Friday, the 3rd of May. There is the
school day. There's the school day, and then on May 4th is the public open house. Then, of course, the following weekend, on the Saturday, May 11th, there is the parade that people can. There's no cost to that because all you have to do is sort of line up down the street. And I know there traffic will be stopped, and I know there will be a lot of people lining the streets. They'll be out shopping and doing their business, and it'll be great fun. Then that evening, of course, is the gala, and that will sort of finish the celebrations, but it will be grand and it will be wonderful.
Well, congratulations on the success that you're going to have, Jocelyn, and thank you for taking the lead in this. It's going to be a wonderful weekend for Moose Jaw to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the David V. Curry VC Armory. That wraps up our road trip, but I want to say thanks to my guests for being here in Regina, and also thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon on Moose Jaw This Week.
The opinions expressed on the program you have just watched are not necessarily those of Shaw Cable Systems or of this station. Through our access policy, we provide the opportunity for community groups and individuals to express their points of view.